Rickea back in practice. What does that do for the morale of the rest of the team?
It's great. I mean, she's a big part of what we're trying to do and moving forward. And so we're thrilled to have her back. She's in good health and good spirits, and a player like that only makes you better. So we could have used her. So I think she knows that, and the rest of the team knows that, and we certainly know that as coaches.
How concerned are you? The last two games we heard that Kelsey was talking about her legs, and obviously it's still early in the season, 8 games in or so. Is there any plans or just kind of look at her minutes as far as making sure that she's not logging too many minutes too early?
Yeah, I think it's two things. One, us being banged up and not having the depth, and still trying to win games. And two, playing 7 games in 15 days. There's nothing I can do about that. We didn't do anything in between those days. It wasn't like we were practicing, getting up and down. I think just how hard she plays and how much work she has to do to even just get open, it's going to fatigue her. So today she was off. Tomorrow she'll be limited, and the one thing she knows how to do is recover and take care of herself. So she'll be all right.
For the whole team, how important is this 3-day stretch of practice going to be?
Oh, so nice. We haven't had it since training camp. Today we actually got to work on little things, and we have not had time to do that. So tomorrow even more, we can actually put in new things and work on them, both sides of the ball. So it's huge and desperately needed.
Yeah, part of coaching and mentoring is teaching and having that instructional time.
Yep.
That seemed like something that obviously you were lacking if you're playing 7 games in 15 days.
Yeah, we didn't have time to, any film we did was just trying to learn from the game and how it applies to the next game. And you can't really focus on yourself when you're doing that. You got to really, it's very opponent driven. And who you play on a Thursday, their style could be very different than who you play on a Saturday. So even if you're trying to learn from Thursday, you got to turn the page to Saturday. So it's hard, but no one needs to feel sorry for us. This is the league, and we got to roll with it, roll through it.
Is there any update on Cameron Brandt's return that she's working her way to?
There's no date. She'll be cleared when she's cleared and ready to roll.
What have you seen out of her that makes you a little more confident as far as her getting back and working her way back into it?
She's kept a great mindset. She's very engaged. She's not off to the side moping around. She's engaged. She's a huge part of this org and moving forward. So it's just as she gets more and more cleared, she'll get more and more out there. I graduated in history, so I don't have a medical degree. So no one asks me when she'll be back.
Has she done any on-court work at all?
A little bit, yeah.
What is she doing to do on-court?
Non-contact stuff.
Coach, what role do you envision for Rickea in Friday's game if she plays?
I don't know right now. After today, I hope we can get her to have a huge role. It's going to be how she kind of attacks it and gets back in the flow. But we all know how talented she is and how much potential, if she's firing on all cylinders, how much better she makes us. So my hope is that she has a huge role, and we'll just have to see how it goes.
Coach, you sound like you're feeling a little bit under the weather.
Yeah.
How are you keeping yourself, mentally, physically fit?
Well, physically fit, I don't know. But, I'd rather me get sick than them. So it's just lack of sleep and travel and all the things. And, you look up and suddenly your body's like, and we're done. And you're going to take a break. So yesterday off day was nice. Laid on the couch and watched a lot of film, but it was nice. So better me than them, I'll be fine.
What's been the biggest difference between coaching at the collegiate level in that schedule and coaching at the WNBA level in this schedule?
I think what we've been talking about, 7 games in 15 days after 10 practices is bananas, right? So that's been an adjustment for me. And you can hear it in my voice that it kind of beat me this year, but it won't beat me next year. But yeah, it's the pace, and as I've said after games, win or lose, you got to move on, and you got to turn the page, and you got to be ready for the next one.
Coach,
Despite the losses, it seems like there's something new and you're improving every single game.
Yeah,
What
we're
has
so
been the
close.
biggest yes. So when you see that you're so close, is there any frustration in that for you to see how close you are and haven't gotten over that hump yet?
Yeah, it's frustration mixed with you got to just trust the process and stick with it. If I freak out, they're going to freak out. If I bring frustration into the next day, they're going to do the same. Like, we've got to be pissed that no one's here to lose. I hate losing. I don't like moral victories. But I also know it's a process. You can't go from last to first in a month. And so, you just got to be doing things the right way, showing up the same every day. I think what we need to clean up now is defensively. Against Phoenix, we scored 80 at home, had a horrible shooting night in the second half. It was great in the first, but 80 points should be enough to win. We got to be better defensively.
I remember early, the first couple of games, you said you have to get used to the timeouts and when to use them.
Yes, I'm used to them now.
Okay. I was going to ask you
Yes.
how the acclimation process has been.
I still have to ask my staff, that was ours, right? Or we have 4, right? And they're like, yep. So I'm very proud of myself that I have watched me mess up the next game. But I think I have it.
I was going to ask you, what's the acclimation process been like for you from college to here with, obviously, we've touched on the schedule, but the timeout situations, challenges, the stuff that can happen in a game compared to college and anything like that?
It's the same. To me, it feels the same. Once the game gets going, I'm very comfortable. I've done it a long time. It just feels the same. But there are some nuances. And I learn a new rule, like when a shoe falls off a person in the game and we dribble it out of bounds, it's off us. That was new. So I've learned new rules every game, it seems, but I'm getting there.
Yeah, one more.
Coach, I know you mentioned bench performance. Have you considered giving Sania some playing time?
Yes, I have considered it. It's hard because we're 3 deep at that spot with Rickea, Mercedes Russell, and then Sania. I think Sania is going to be a really good pro. She's going to make it in this league. She's going to get her opportunity. She's big and strong. She can run. She can finish. Right now, she's learning the defensive things, the rotations, and so much of it is different than college. The pace is so much faster. Mercedes Russell has so much experience. She understands when to peel switch, when to drop, it's nice to learning that. And in these games where we seem to put ourselves in a hole, we can't have rookie mistakes on defense. So she just got to learn through practice, which we haven't had any. So she'll get her time. She'll get her chance. I promise you that. When it'll be, I don't know.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you guys. I appreciate you being here.